Okay, I got talked into recording this one. So, we're doing another Ride the Lightning this time around. Got the van isolated, and this is actually a location I've seen before. So, a common spawning structure is these ramps on the side going off into whatever, and then there's also this area right here. This slope is something that's not always in the defense. I've seen it quite a few times where this is more open-ended, but this is a common enough terrain with this slope specifically, and I have seen other terrain where there's spawns up on top of here and there's more of a hill, and they all go towards the defense. Looks like we have a pretty big slope kind of defending us here, and I don't know if this river... Yeah, so I have seen some defenses where the river cuts through to the back end of that, and it's... It looks like that's not going to be much of a problem. So some enemies might spawn out here. Lobbers might stick around out there. That could be sort of a priority for the players. And out here, it looks like there's a potential backdoor entrance, which I think could be blocked off nicely. So kind of an interesting spawn location. Typical disclaimers. These videos are informational. They are not perfect guides. I don't like to build with the absolute minimum because I like to show the fundamentals of funneling. This is a learning experience. If I place any traps that are a little overkill or whatever, better safe than sorry, as I always say. And if you guys want to improve for my builds, you can take note of what was ended up unnecessary at the end. Note that I might place a little more than usual because we are dealing with a healing death burst mission, and two things are important: ice storm and metal corrosion. My team has opted to build for metal. This is okay if you are confident that you are going to kill the basic zombies. Basic zombies are what are responsible for activating that corrosive ticking damage over time, and if we are confident that we're going to be eliminating them before they get too close, smashers and fatties are really the only things that are going to get close, or flinger zombies for that matter. But everybody here is willing to play and participate and take care of that. Brick in a water mission is also tough. So metal corrosion is something that we can deal with. I do have a trap tunnel guide linked down below for the basics of a lot of the tunnels I use. This trap series also has a playlist linked down below. This is, I think, the third Ride the Lightning video. I don't remember anymore, but I do know this is a unique terrain. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right. First and foremost, whenever I see a ramp like this, favorite thing to do is tire traps. I think we've got, yeah, 3 tiles up is usually what you want for... Okay, there are specific situations where, in this case, let me explain the 2 situations you'd want trap tires, trap builds for. So, tire traps bounce a lot, and depending on their height, they'll bounce more, you know, because they got a little more velocity. 3 tiles is their limit, and typically, if you want them to bounce up and down and up and down, up and down, do the most damage they can, that's what you want. But if you're just rolling enemies down the hill, you kind of want the tires to hit and then bounce straight down. It's my understanding that the tires can bounce with a little more velocity going horizontally if you place them too high. So I think I'm going to stick 3 tiles high for this one, but I don't believe you always want to do that necessarily. I am placing these backwards, by the way, and that's trap directionality. Traps like the tire traps and floor freeze traps will go basically the opposite direction of where you're facing, and this muzzle is essentially showing which direction it'll be pointing in. So all the enemies will be pushed down the slope with maximum effectiveness. I'm going to be putting a couple of, there we go, just wall launchers just like that, pushing enemies all the way off to the side, out into this pool, and this will stall them out quite a bit. Typically we could do like ceiling electric field out here, but I'm gonna keep with the tire traps just because I find them fun. I'm not saying this is necessarily optimal or anything, but I'm gonna have just a little bit of fun placing 6 tire traps, and that might completely handle this slope. We'll see how this we'll see how this does. I'll try to stay on top of it and see how this goes throughout the mission. I'm going to connect it up here just so, you know, we have a little bit of extra connection. I don't usually like to connect it to the top builds, but on second look, it doesn't really look like anything's ever going to get up here anyway, so I can probably connect this safely without any problems. Again, one more tire trap. This one's likely unnecessary. I wanted to have that stated before we get too far. Thank you for following, Requiem. All right, now, on this slope right here, we're not going to have really much to deal with out here. I think it might be best... defensively, there's really not much to work with. I'm going to do a couple of things. First and foremost, basic tar pits. You know, smashers, like I said, could be an issue. And I do want to start with the easy one first. I mentioned floor freeze are directional, so I'm going to place these backwards. I'm thinking... I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do 3. A 3 wide tunnel might be unnecessary, but again, this is a better safe than sorry situation, and I'm going to be sticking with that. This is also a water mission, so nature sealing electric fields will do a flat 25% more to those enemies, and I didn't properly look at the stacks. I need the stack of 195. I am using a bow loadout, by the way. Super boring, totally rocking out like it's not. You'll see what the vacuum tube bow is capable of if I have to do any crowd clearing. And then here, typically, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Smashers like to break broadside walls, but, you know, I think this is going to be the fun way to go. And if these break down, that's something I'll deal with, but it shouldn't be a problem because there aren't any enemies coming from this direction. Like, this wall shouldn't even be necessary, so I don't believe Smashers have too much incentive. Maybe these back two walls going towards the base, but so long as there aren't any teammates instigating those Smashers, it should be fine. I'll upgrade these anyway, just in case propanes go off, but the ceiling electric fields being 2 tiles up should be completely fine. As for this area right here, this is where things are going to be a little tricky. I need to edit that out. Their main objective pathing is going to be fairly straight. So this is going to be a little tricky, but I might do the exact same thing with a little bit of tire trap action. Like I said, whenever I see the slope, I can't help myself. I'm just going to do 2. I'm going to keep this nice and basic. Ceiling electric fields go 2 tiles up. I've seen some comments basically recently on the range of these. Let me explain. Ceiling electric fields are most effective 2 tiles up. They shoot in essentially a 3x3 grid, you know, 3x3 by 2 high. They do shoot in a radius. They can hit an enemy 3 tiles up. Sometimes they can sort of clip into it. So if it's 2.5 tiles, they can kind of hit in this range if it was 2 tiles up there. It's not reliable. It's not recommended. 2 tiles up is out of the way of propanes, and there's really not much to worry about there. So I'm just going to leave it. And this extra part, I want to say this just so that nobody goes around wasting their traps or getting the wrong ideas. What I'm about to place is for funsies and not totally necessary. This is 1, 2, 3 tiles. Yeah. 3 tiles up. I'm going to do a couple of tire traps just for fun, because this is going to be a nice wide open field. This one out here, purely frivolous. This right here, this is just because I can, and because watching them bounce right here is going to be very fun. And also unnecessary. I'm putting a few wall darts out here just to cheese some extra damage. Probably not necessary. I cannot stress that enough, but I do want to have a little bit of fun in that way. But for the strictly trap guide part, I think, you know, basic broadsides are going to be great here. Wall darts would do similar damage and be fun as it completely blocks them from coming up. Well, kinda. Tire traps placed directionally facing this north side will be, well, let's just watch what it does to the smasher. So, oh goodness, he went right through the tunnel. Yeah, that's probably not going to be too common if nobody stays up here to antagonize them, but yeah, tire traps are very effective in pushing enemies back and might stall this out completely. It is healing death burst, so it might be a problem, but I think we're mostly okay. I mentioned that enemies might be coming around this, this far end. I'm just going to block off these, and then if anything gets close, we'll deal with it. I'm going to put a wall here, by the way, because when enemies get stuck up under these ramps, it's really annoying to clean them out. From here, we'll have a clean shot. And that should block them from getting in. So, let's get into the fun stuff. I want to start out here on this west side and see how our defense is doing. Ooh, we got propanes as well. So you'll see. Thank you for following, Catfish Warrior. Oh my goodness, yeah, they're throwing at me now. Looks like they're throwing at me, but yeah, the tire trap is just pushing them all backwards. Super powerful, and then, you know, vacuum tube bow is absolutely bonkers, and I'm just gonna take out this monster. Should be completely fine on this end. We'll check back in a little bit, see what's going on. Over here, we got a fatty just getting annihilated, as you do. Tire traps are being super effective out here. Just, this is what I'm talking about, you guys. Like, it might be a little pricey to do. Honestly, no. 2 to 4 tire traps is very affordable, especially for a 160 power level mission, and it is just knocking almost everything back. Anything that does get up here gets frozen, zapped, and then while they're waiting to unthaw, the broadsides are recharging. They get zapped again. He gets frozen because of the directionality thing. Fatties and up. So basically the normal baby zombies and the normal husks like him, they will get through the tires. I'm sorry, the floor freeze. But the fatties, like the Riot Husky here, he'll just never get through. It's amazing. All you got to do is hang out on the end, kill off the baby zombies, and you'll be you'll be completely fine. I'm seeing a lot of red on this southwest side again. Look at this. This is just 6. This looks like I'm spamming, but really 6 tire traps is not a ton, and it is almost entirely stalling this entire side. Anything that gets up high enough is just hit by this wall launcher, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, this top one is fired 3 times. That's nothing. Yeah, anything that gets that high just gets shoved off the edge and is completely handled. I'm going to step away from the smasher. He's not going to get knocked around as much, but should be taken care of. This northeast tunnel, barely getting touched. You know, you can't really know where the enemies are going to come from. It looks like 2 tiles deep was all that was necessary, and that's completely fine. I'm going to go back to the southwest side. Where is that smasher going? Did he get dealt with by a teammate? He must have. And that's fine, you know? That's kind of the point of running a 4-player mission. I know that randoms don't always do what they should, but hopefully they take care of the big guys. And yeah, no, these fatties, they just... Even motivated to run after me. Look at that smasher getting hit by the tire. Oh, I don't want him to lunge through me. I'd prefer if he got frozen. Oh no, he's gonna probably run at us. Yeah, I'm surprised that he's not, actually. Well, I guess we'll just take care of him then. Yeah, might as well just... A very docile smasher. Ooh, grab that. Is that a smasher out there or a mist monster? Because something is just not even getting in. Yeah, that is easy cleanup for the mist monster. Smasher, if it gets frozen, we'll take a lot of extra damage. There he is. If I'm ever going to attack a smasher, I prefer when they're frozen because, you know, 20-25% more damage is nice. And yeah, just an absolute breeze of a mission. Nothing even came close. I'm going to just look at the durabilities real quick. This top trap only fired 10 times, which is a pretty good amount. Looks like I didn't go too overboard. This is total spawn trappy. I probably only needed these 2x2s, but still, the spawns of this mission are so forgiving for the player that there are only really like 3 choke points. This slope, this straightaway, and that ramp that we had covered on the southwest there. So I don't see any reason anything else needs to get placed. I say we just go again. Gotta love when the broadsides are facing each other. Ah, honestly, isn't it just amazing when they can actually do damage? Hearing for the cries, it's gonna be super easy. Yeah, so now we got nurses this time around. This is where tire traps really do their job. I can explain even further now that tire traps only push in like one key direction, and it's basically the opposite of where you're facing when you place it. And you can see nurses just get hit by these tire traps all day long, and because these ones are 3 tiles high, they will bounce all the way up and down, up and down, up and down. I believe they'll hit 4 or 5 times, 3 to 5 times, depending on the tire, and almost entirely stall the enemies. A nurse did get into the actual tunnel. Looks like our wall got broken. Wood was not the correct choice, but giving the broadside something to bounce off against will provide a lot of extra damage. Oh, I see. So I think what might have happened is something glitched into this room. We need to remove him. This is a very ineffective broadside until he's gone. Easy cleanup, put that back. I'll even put another broadside and then just step away. How's my favorite southwest section doing? Oh, look at the beauty. There is a mini boss over there. Ooh, he's nature. Okay. Nature means I can keep using the vacuum tube bow. He is a healer as well. Okay, Squash is going for the Ravager. I'm just going to use an energy wrath. I'm not really concerned about it. If anybody has a war cry, that would be great. Oh, my FPS. I'm down to 60. I don't know why these zones are so laggy. Well, you know, tire traps. Archer is currently demonstrating... Ooh, can I... So, if you use... I'm so glad he did that in a video. If you use a Xenon bow, it can teleport through the teleporter, I believe, infinitely. If I'm wrong and there's a time limit, let me know, Archer.
It's kind of infinitely. It's if you get lucky, you can do it infinitely, but you usually have to keep shooting.
And if you get a mini boss between that, it's annihilation. That is something I was gonna make a video on. Archer did make a video on it. I would like to remember to link that down below, but I schedule these videos weird and I might forget. But if you know Archer in our Discord, your YouTube should be linked. It should be a pretty easy video to find. I'll try to remember to link it, but yeah, these tire traps are just amazing. This has been our favorite thing to do, by the way, chat, recently. Taking advantage of the directionality of these drop traps is just wonderful. I mean, the crowd clearing is insane. Look how far back they get pushed. They take so long to stumble back up that they just get hit by another trap and they'll despawn. They'll literally despawn. The anti-jailing measures come into effect. These tunnels over here, doing great. Looks like one of our floor freezes got destroyed, but even still, it's completely fine. Looks like this back section was mostly unnecessary. I think the rule of thumb for most of these, you know, floor freeze, broadside, cylinder field tunnels is that 2 is almost always completely fine. Like the first 2 will get 80-90% of it, and then that last one is just cleanup. So if you guys are ever on a budget, that's kind of my recommendation. You can see this one is only too long. I know we have teammates watching it, but it's almost entirely been enough. And I'm also aware I put quite a few wall darts back here that are doing work. Look at this. These have fired 72 times. That one has at least. So even though that wall dart is kind of unnecessary, wall darts are fairly cheap in the grand scheme of things and do a ton of extra damage. They also do high single target damage, which means a nurse might be one-shotted from those wall darts, and you know, taking out a nurse means everything else is easier to kill, and it's always a treat. So very straightforward mission, pretty quirky defense, but it has worked out very, very well. So hopefully this was useful to you guys. Comment down below what you guys want to see next. Let me know if this helped you in any way, and I'll see you guys in the next one.